Yes, we are live once again. This is another episode of Roll Lamb Live, and I am in the building. Well, first, I'm your host. My name is Roll Lamb, and I am in the building tonight with Kalvin Harris, aka Papa Bear. How we doing tonight, Papa Bear? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling good, man. A little tired, but these dreams don't care if we're tired, so I gotta shake it off. You know what I'm
For sure. For sure. For sure. So tonight we're gonna talk a little bit about Calvin's comic books, his creativity, his life, and how it's all connected. But before we do that, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being here tonight to kick it with us and to tune into this conversation. If you want to support the show, you could definitely buy me a coffee. The link is scrolling down at the bottom. Um, and I think that's it. Thank y'all so much for being here. Kalvin, I want to start with the question that I love to start with all my guests, and that is, what is inspiring you right now? What are you listening to? What are you reading? What are you watching? What's getting the creative juices going for you right now?
I want to say one thing first, though. I want to say thank you for inviting me to the show, first of all.
Oh, absolutely. I appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate it. Yeah, everything. I've been picking your brain. I know you're tired of me, this old man running up to you asking these questions, but
Not at
you're
all.
not
Not
getting
at
enough.
all.
um, Man, you know what keeps me going, what inspires me, man, it's just this is what I want to do. I'll tell you this. I've always loved comics. I've always been able to draw. Um, my mom tried to put me in piano lessons, and I could draw. I was drawing the side of the piano book, man. I got a beating because of that one time because I was drawing in the piano book. Yeah, I got kicked out of piano lessons. I
Oh,
told the teacher that my mama bought the book, and if it's my book, I can draw it. She
mm,
kicked me out, and that's when they realized I could draw. But man, it's just comics have been in my life. It's always been something I've done. I got married young, I'll tell you that. And of course, I chose my family first, and I raised them, and now my kids, man, I'm an old man. My kids are 30, 29, 28.
oh,
And yeah, we got an old baby. She's 15, and I got a
okay.
grandson that's 7. That's what I'm saying. So my thing is this. I started thinking, I've done the parent thing and succeeded. I just felt it's my time, man. I've been wanting to put this stuff out, so I decided to go ahead and put it out, and got to working on it. And I'm
Yeah,
one of those people who just believe that. I know it sounds crazy, but I want to do something. I just feel like I can do it.
yeah,
I'm not going to stop until I get there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, that is a great answer to the question. I didn't realize that you had. So for me, I have a 12-year-old, 10-year-old, 9-year-old, and a 6-year-old. So I'm still in that parenting
Yeah.
phase. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
interesting talking to a creator who is sort of in a different phase. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but I do want to rephrase the question a little bit. Um, what are you currently like reading? What are you currently engaging in that's keeping your creative juices going?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing,
Okay.
man. I've been reading. Man, I buy books. I'll be honest with you. I buy books. I support Kickstarters like crazy. Matter of fact, Greg, Muscle Greg, not Greg Burns, but Muscle
Elise,
Greg.
Elise, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I couldn't say the last name, so I call him Mr. Muscle, comic book Muscle Greg.
for sure.
He just sent me, asked me, did I get my book? And I said, man, I think I do, but I have a whole box full of Kickstarters. So I probably have supported around 90 to 100 Kickstarters already. I
Yeah,
got a whole box full of them. And I try to read as much as possible, but I probably go through Instagram and I look at people's artwork that way. I try to spend time with my wife watching movies and stuff, but my stories are in my head, and I just kind of create as I go. If that makes a lot of sense to you, I feed off you guys at the cons when I'm talking to you guys and stuff like that. But really, just I have not really just sat down. I think the last whole book I read was Rodney Barnes' Philadelphia, and it was good. I'm not gonna lie,
mm,
it was real good. I read that whole series and I enjoyed it, but I just don't have the time because you gotta think about it. I gotta, you know, I work in the corporate world.
hmm,
Then I have to draw. You think I'm drawing a comic book. I'm
right.
coming up with ideas. I'm writing, co-writing. I brought a co-writer on, and that's really what keeps me sane. Josh Carter, I work with him. You
Hmm.
met Josh at the con.
For sure. For sure.
Josh has just been a lifesaver. So I really haven't got into looking more. If anything, I do anything. I look at books, and I just got to make time to read more for interest. I'm not gonna lie to you there. Yeah, I'm not
Gotcha.
going to the X-Men. Nope.
Robert Harris 4709 says pops.
Yeah, what's up, man? What's up? That's one of my seeds. That's one of my Cubs, man.
For
That's my
sure.
youngest son right there.
For
Yeah, give
sure.
me that
For
support.
sure.
I mean, they ain't gonna hit me up later. Can I get some gas money? No, I'm joking with you, man.
Shoot, send
Nah,
me
he
some
passed
too
that.
while you at it. Send me some too. You
Nah,
feel me?
he can send me some. Hey, my nothing else, man. My kids, they take care of themselves, man. They really do.
No, I hear it. I hear it.
All right,
Um, so this might get us a little bit off. This is not a road I was going to go down. But what do you? I think sometimes as creatives, we think about the inputs or the inputs and the outputs, right? So we're putting out our work and we're creating and we're doing things, but usually we have an input as well, right? Where it's like a give and a take. And so I think it's interesting that you say a lot of it is you and the work that you do that's inspiring you and talking to people. So how do you navigate if you have like an artist block or if you feel, drained, creatively, what do you do in those situations?
so creative wise, I've been working on this for a while. Um, I continue to expand as much as possible, different ideas and stuff. And I have to just explain that to you when, um, I guess I could say it's like, I make it almost like my characters and stuff. I make them like their real life. So
Mm,
if I'm talking in my head, what I do, I tell myself a story. Like I might be like, hey, one time, man, that one time Andale got into this and this and that. I kind of do it that way, I guess I'm saying. And as far as getting tired, I would say, everybody gets tired. But I know it's gonna sound crazy. I just feel like I'm not a, uh, I'm not the kind of person to blame other people for my problems, if that makes sense.
yeah.
I think that it's on me. So let's say something happens. 9 times out of 10, it's my fault. I didn't pay attention to it. I didn't do it. So I feel like it's my responsibility to say, look, man, you want this, you got to get after it. There have
Yeah.
been people working in this field for years. I mean, I've heard, I've been doing it for 10 years. I've been doing this. So who am I to complain? There are people who are not to the where I'm at. I mean, man, I keep a tight schedule. I believe in discipline. And I'll tell you this, I get up at 5. Well, my alarm clock goes off at a quarter till 4.
Mm,
I mean,
wow.
quarter to 5. I get up real slow because I'm old. I'm like, so I crack and stretch, drink me some water, and I stretch. And man, you think I'm joking? I go downstairs to my studio and I draw up until around about 6:30.
Mm,
And my clothes are already out and stuff. I come back upstairs, start talking to my wife, catch a shower, go to work all day. Come home. If she wants to do something, go do something, we eat or whatever. I come back downstairs and do another hour to 2 hours of drawing or
mm,
creativity. When I'm on my lunch break, I try to eat real quick and do a little work in my truck. I just, like I said, man, I just want it. Do I get tired? Yes, man, I do get tired. I'm not gonna lie to you, but going to the cons, like I give you an example. I go to the con and I'm around people like you. I'm around people like when we sat on the panel and we were talking. And it just filled me back up. And it just
mm,
gave me the energy to keep going because I know that I feel like I'm not alone, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Um, with everything being social media and stuff like that, it's kind of, believe it or not, lean on everybody else. They might not even know it.
Yeah. Yeah. So this takes me. I do want to hear your origin story and how you got into art and how you got into comic books. But I want to ask this question now because I had this question later, and what you're saying now, I feel like ties to this. But I heard you in another interview. You were discussing, I guess, an issue that you had with a colorist that you had, and you had to find a new colorist. And you said one of the things that stuck out to me was you said if you know me, you know nothing's gonna stop me. And I just wonder, what about your upbringing? What about your life has fostered that mindset of, I'm gonna be dedicated. We just had somebody, say this right now every morning. That's dedication, right? What fostered this lifestyle of dedication and discipline and the mentality of nothing's gonna stop me?
Now, I'll tell you this. First of all, my dad was military, but he had a cement business, roofing business on the side. So, man, I don't know if you know about mixing cement. We mix cement by hand. So you take the buckets and you mixing that cement. Yeah, you get strong from doing it. And you be out in the sun, you like, boy, if you don't want to do this for the rest of your life, you better figure out something. So, that was one thing as far as discipline. But I think coming up, I wrestled in high school, coached wrestling. I've done a lot of stuff. My boys wrestled Division II. So I'm a wrestler. So, if you're a wrestler, you got to be disciplined. I was in the reserves in the Army for a few years. But the same thing is I've been a dad. I've raised these kids. So I just think I'm just built that way. I think you're just built a certain way. And I just feel like you're not going to stop me. If I want it, I'm going to get it. And
Yeah.
there's no other option.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's go back. Let's go back, and I would love to hear, I guess some of your origin story and how you found just. I know you mentioned the story of drawing in the piano book and things of that nature, but how did you find yourself really wanting to do comic books, and what was that journey like for you? The early parts of your journey.
Well, back when I was young, high school, I didn't even take art. I didn't even take art, and I had a teacher. I didn't take art until then. His name was Mr. Ford, and he was at Kendrick. I went to Kendrick High School in Columbus, Georgia. That's where I'm from. And shout out to you Cherokees if you're watching. But
Mhm.
this is the thing. He kept trying to get me to get into art, and I was like, yeah, whatever, whatever. Matter of fact, one of my wrestling teammates who actually taught me some wrestling just logged in. Jeff, what's up, Jeff? I see
Oh,
you.
that's good,
And
brother.
yeah, yeah, Jeff, I wrestled. But the thing was, Mr. Ford uh, taught me into taking an art class. I took it, and he ended up helping me get an art scholarship. But if you know how it was back then, what you all take for granted is that there was no internet. There was nothing. You would go down to the um, counselor's office and take a book off the shelf, blow the dust off of it, and I say, "Hey, I want to go become an animator." And
Mm,
she's like, "Cool, let me see, can I figure this up?" And she'll go flip through the book, and she'll say, "Want you to be an architect?" Because there's
mm,
no way. There's no resources, and people don't understand how good they have it.
right.
And he ended up hooking me up with a school up in Atlanta. I went to school in Atlanta for commercial art, and I met some people there who, those guys from the bigger cities, Jersey and all, New York. Believe it or not, they're kind of ahead of us because they were already drawing on a whole nother level. So that
Mm,
inspired me. And I might have jumped off subject, but it was just that journey of just figuring it out and wanting to get there. Then when I got married, I wanted to go become an animator. And I was in New Orleans, and I was telling my wife, "Let's go out to California," because like I said, you just didn't know how to get there. Maybe it's in California, maybe it's here. Then realize it was one in Florida.
right.
It didn't happen. Then I started, but I continued to draw because that's just part of who I am. And I met with some guys. I think I drew for a while. Book called Notorious Rex, the One Drop Comics. Did that for a little while, but like I said, I was raising my kids. I stopped, and like once my kids got grown, I said, you know what? You got to get this. I don't. And I know where I'm all over the place. My thing is this: I'm not trying to. I don't like regret. And I feel like if I don't put this stuff out, I'm gonna have a regret, and regret sucks.
For
So if
sure.
nothing else, even if I just sell one book, I still did it. I still put it out there. I,
Yeah.
I just didn't want that regret. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Um, so I heard you talk a little bit about this name Papa Bear. And if I'm not mistaken, this came from your daughter, and
Yeah.
um she started calling you that, and it just stuck with everybody, right? I'm
It did.
curious, what does Papa Bear mean to you?
It means a father, a protector, and it means love. I think a bear covers all aspects of everything. It covers, it's ferocious, he's soft, he's tough, he's it just covers everything. And I think that's what I am to my kids. I'm real close to my kids. Me and my wife, I've been married 31 years, man. And
Wow.
that's who I am. I'm gonna look out for you. I'm gonna treat you how you want to be treated. I'm gonna talk to you how I want to be spoken to. I won't say anything to you that I want you to say to me. That kind of guy. I let stuff roll off my shoulders. But I think a Papa Bear is uh, just somebody who's gonna look out for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is gonna be there for them. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you said that, and I'm really glad to have you on the show tonight. Um, this is a little bit off topic. I wasn't going to ask you this either, but just listening to you speak to that. When I look around our culture and I look at how we view men and how we view masculinity, and particularly, the relationship between black men and black women. You know what I'm saying? I just wonder if you could speak to more about how you see what real healthy manhood looks like.
Um, yeah. Ooh, that's a good question, man. I think the thing about manhood is that people think that there are different levels of manhood. You know what I'm saying? You got your manhood that you have with your wife, which is
Mm,
intimate for her to see you a different way. And that's not meant for everyone else to see you that way.
mm,
There's manhood for how your kids see each other, knowing that you're going to be their rock. They can be whatever they want, and you're still going to love them.
mm,
And then it's the manhood of what you show to the people.
mm,
Um, but I think at the end of the day, the problem what men struggle with is how we're viewed, feeling not necessarily valued or needed, I would say. I don't know
mm,
if that's the right word right there. I think that's important. I think that we don't vocalize how we feel. And if we do say it, it's viewed as being soft.
mm,
But I think what we got to understand, those people who are saying we're soft, we don't need them anyway. If they
mm.
can't handle that, we're having a situation that we're human.
Right,
You probably don't need to be around them in the first place.
right, right.
Um, I would say masculinity is, people think it's about being tough and being able to fight or whatever. I think it's also about telling somebody, thank you, I love you. Tell my
Mm,
kids I love them every day. Every time
mm,
we get on the phone, I love
mhm.
you. Want to know why? Because if something happens to me, that's the last thing I want them to hear, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Um, we talk, it's just being who I am. And being, I think masculinity is being comfortable who you are. And if, guess what, if you don't like who I am, so I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna keep on moving. And I
Yeah.
think you can understand this as well. Um, I'm an older guy. Man, do you know how many people have left my life?
Mm,
But guess what? We're still standing. We're
yeah,
still here.
yeah.
They were just seasonal. And that I don't mean them any harm. I don't mean them anything like a bad. I almost think bad because like the first thing we say when somebody did a God gonna strike me down. God, don't play with me. I'm trying. No, guess what? It's just that season's over for now, or it's over forever, and we're gonna keep moving and let's move on to the next thing. It might hurt.
Yeah.
I think being masculinity is just part of owning all those things and understanding that life is gonna hit you, and you still got to stand strong, keep moving, and understand that people are gonna be people.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A couple of years ago, well, probably about a year ago now, one of my best friends, he lives in California. He called me and he said, "Man, I'm going in for I'm having a colonoscopy later today, whatever, whatever." We just, I said, "Oh, that's cool, whatever." And the next day he called me and he said, "Man, I got colon cancer." And, you know, now every time we get off the phone, because he survived it, they did the surgery and everything,
Yeah,
everything's fine now. But now every time we get off the phone, we say, "Hey, I love you, bro. I love you, bro."
yeah,
And I think that, like you said, sometimes people can see that and say, "Oh, but that's soft." You know what I'm saying? Like that's we don't
right,
use the L word. You know what I'm saying? But I think
right.
you don't know when the last time you're gonna see somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Um, but I want to ask you this too. So I have four boys. I have four sons, and
okay.
one of the things that I'm always asking myself is how am I how am I teaching my boys to be men, right? And
Yeah.
so I wonder what would you tell a young father that has sons, or and really it could be any gender, you know what I'm saying? Like, what would you say? Like, how do you make sure, or how do you navigate knowing that you need to teach certain things, and what does that look like? You know what I'm saying?
Man, first of all, the thing is this, and this is with kids, daughters, sons, because I have both. I have two boys, two girls. So I've had to do, and it's two different reasons. So two different ways of raising them. But the one thing that is um, that stays the same is you can't make a kid feel judged if
Mm,
they tell you how they feel. You might be screaming on the inside like, "Oh my God," they're telling you stuff, but they've got to be able to come to you and tell you anything, and you
mm,
go, "Okay," and then you listen to what they're saying, all of it, and you navigate them. But once you make a kid feel judged about how they feel, really even a person, you lost them because now they're gonna hide. They're gonna hide that they're this way. They're gonna hide that they went through this. They're gonna hide whatever. Now you can make things funny, you can joke about it, but at the end of the day, once you judge that child, that's it. That's it. Or if you shame them, you can't shame them. You got to be like, okay, yeah, I see where you come about coming from that angle. Or, well, you know what? I like what you're saying, but be careful because of this to make them
yeah.
be able to see things. I raised my kids on a method. I don't know what I heard this. I think it was John Tesh or something. I don't know what I heard. You know what? I'm gonna say God gave it to me. That's what he said. So listen to it. It's called 10-10-10. And if anybody knows me, I say this all the time. Whenever you make a decision, whatever you say, whatever you do, 10-10-10. So whatever you say, what's going to happen 10 seconds from now? I'm going to
Mm,
10 minutes from now. What's going to happen 10 months from here? And 10 months, or 10 years. So 10 minutes, 10 months, 10 years. What I
mm,
say, what's going to be the outcome of what I say or what I do. Another thing I'd say is this: whatever you say, remember this: you cannot take it back. You can
mm.
say I'm sorry, whatever. But once you say it, it's like crossing the line with your wife or calling her the B word or whatever. I've never called my wife the B word. I've never called a woman to her face, sorry, the B word. I've never done that. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't take it back. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's like,
yeah.
you get mad and stuff like that, but you can't take it back. So, I kind of just live on those kind of things. Not, I know I'm not perfect or anything, but just like I said, I think once you start judging your kids, you start judging people, it makes them shut off from you, and now you cannot be yourself
Mm,
anymore.
mm. I know we're supposed to be talking about comic books, but I just got one more
It's
question.
all good. You know
Um,
what, man? You can ask me whatever.
because now I'm just really curious. And I think, side note, I think this is one of the things about my show is that when people come on here, a lot of times they're artists and we're talking about creativity, but life, I just think life is so connected to the things that we create. And so I just
Yeah,
love having the opportunity to talk to people about more than just their work or the things they're creating, but to talk about like
yeah,
the way their mind works and the way they show up in the world. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So let me ask you this: what's been what's been some of the hardest lessons that you've had to learn as a father?
Um, hardest lesson. So, in your mind, you have your kid's story. You be like, hey, like my boys, they can wrestle, they're gonna go, they're gonna be Olympic champions. My daughter's gonna do this and this and that, right? Man, that's your story for them. That's your
Right.
story. That ain't their story.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
out there writing their own story, creating their own story. And you're like, hey, that's not the way the story. So that's not my story. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And that's not my story. And then you have to realize, let me sit back and watch their movie, watch their story, and enjoy it from them. But it's hard. I told my boys and told my daughter them when they graduated, right when they started college, I said, look, our relationship just changed. I'm your dad. Two things. Um, I'm not gonna put a hole in your chest when you act up. I'm joking with you. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna talk to you. Um, I'm gonna talk to you as your dad. I'm not gonna disrespect you. I'm not trying to cuss you out. I'm not trying to do all those things. If you are talking to me about something and you want my input, then you say, Dad, I want your opinion.
Mm,
What do you think about it? Other than that, I'm just gonna listen. But I'm gonna give you the truth. It's just the lessons is just the lesson I learned is that it's their story, and I have to sit back and enjoy their story, man. And you can't change it. It's a rough one though. It's a rough
yeah.
one, but
But
yeah.
but but Calvin, where did you learn to be like this? Like where did you learn to because I feel like you're coming from a generation, I don't know how old you are, but it seems like you're coming from my dad's generation. And my
I
dad is not like you are describing. So I'm trying to figure out
I'm
where
gonna
did
I'll
you
give you my
learn
age.
this?
I'm 54. I will be 55
Okay,
in July. There you
okay.
go. Are me and your dad close?
I think he's like 10 years older than you. But anyway, continue.
Okay.
Continue.
Yeah. We like the same music. We like the same music. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
your dad probably got caught into having to be a certain way because people who tried to live up to their identity, and it's
Right.
rough, man. And it beat them down. You know, it's just like women, man. You know, come on, man. You know, women are a certain way, and we get to coming down on women and stuff. We're the one who created the beast. We did, man.
Look,
You want to know why
here
women the
go
way they
dad
are?
right here. Here go my dad right here.
What's up, Big Bro?
Big bro.
Let me tell you, man. We created the monster. You know that, don't you? You want to
Why
know how
you
we create the monster? Guess what? At the root, guess what? How we create the monster? Because our own ego.
mm,
Because like with girls, right? Think about this. From day one, they got to hide who they are, hide how they think, because they don't want to be seen a certain way. Because they want daddy to think. So they learn to lie. They learn to lie, right?
yeah, yeah,
So the
yeah.
whole life you're doing this. Hey, you know, they can't tell us. You know, oh, we got to be the best. We're the best in bed. We're the best at everything. They got to
Right.
lie.
Right, right,
They
right.
got to lie about everything. So now we wonder why they're so much better at lying than us, because we
Mm,
don't have to lie.
mm,
We created that, man. We created them and taught them how to do that because of
mm,
our ego.
mm,
That's on
mm.
daddy. That's on us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
women, that's not a throw off to the ladies. That's me owning that we are the big part of the problem of, you know, like you said, how do you raise men, but how do we raise daughters too? It goes both
Right.
ways.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right, right. So, but where did you learn this though? Like where did you learn how to be like this with your kids? And because the reason why I'm asking that question is because one of the things that I think that's difficult about being a parent is they give you the kids, but there's no like manual to like, hey, this is how you do this, right? This is how you raise kids, right? And so you end up figuring these things out, or at least for myself, it felt like I was figuring it out on the fly, you know?
Yeah.
And so I just wonder for you, like, did it feel like that for you? Like you were just figuring it out on the fly, or did you have like mentors or people that was like pouring into you to teach you these things?
I mean, I had my mom and dad. My dad was military, so he was in and out, as far as military wise. He was overseas a lot of times. My mom was there. But I think I come from a big family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, big families have different things, but I think for as long as I was the youngest, so I was around men and women, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, as much as I talk, I learned when not to talk back then. So I might be
Mm-hmm.
sitting at the beauty shop because my mom's a beautician, and those ladies are talking,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this, and that. And then I'll be around the guy, yeah, I did this, and this. And I was like, that's not how she thinks, but you're saying that's what happened. And
Right.
then she's talking about a guy over at the beauty shop. I'm like, nah, that's not how you think. You're giving him too much credit. He really don't think that way. So I think it was just from being around people. And I think if you know how you talk about I know we're not talking about comic books. Everybody says that if somebody had a superpower, what would it be?
Yeah.
I think my superpower is probably being empathic because I can feel how people feel. I
Mm,
can feel when
yeah.
people are hurting. I can feel when they're in a bad mood. I can pick up on certain things. I can pick up, I can see in their eyes and be like, hey man, they're hurting. I
Right.
can kind of, it's just, I don't know how I couldn't explain, it's God given gift. I don't know. But I feel
Mhm.
like that's just the way I'm built. And
Yeah.
I think by having that, I've learned to treat people for who they are
Mm,
and, try to help them, as much as I can.
yeah.
And be
Yeah.
real with them and make it okay to come to me to be yourself. My
Yeah.
thing is that you can tell me anything. I might go, whoa, that's hard. It's going to be pretty hard to shock me at this point. But I think there's a way to lift people up when they need it
Yeah. Yeah.
or where they
For
need it. I would say. How about that? Not when they need it, but where they need it. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I'm really glad you was on the show tonight. Just we're gonna talk about some more stuff, but just for that little piece right there, I think that was for me that was great. But let's
Yeah.
shift gears. Let's shift to the comic books. The first question that I want to ask you about the comic books, though, in an interview, I heard you were talking about your comic books, and you said I don't just want to make a comic book. You said I want to make a business. Um,
Yeah.
And so I just wonder what has the journey been like balancing and navigating, the art side, the creative side, and
Arms
the
up.
building the business side. You know what I'm saying?
Arms
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. We work it. We work
uh,
it.
Man, it's been hard, man. All right, so the art side, and I think you might notice the art side is easy.
Oh shit, that's the
It's-
easy part. Right, right.
That's that, yeah, do that. I want to do that, but man, you got to get on here and try to get sell the books. You got to talk to people. You got to go to the cons and put yourself out there when you're shy because it's your passion so much that you feel weird talking about it. Like it's the weirdest thing. Somebody's looking through my work and they're going, God, I hope they like it.
Right.
And you don't know, yeah. A lot of times I think you know this, you put a comic book out there and you don't know if people like it or not because they didn't give you their feedback. You want feedback.
Right.
You want feedback and you're not getting it. You're going, how? But then Jack told me, he gave me some good advice. He was just like, man, a lot of people aren't going to tell you if they like your book or not. He said the way that you'll know if they like it is when the next one's coming out. And I said, okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. But I still want to know. I want to know if I'm doing good. I want to know how it's going. It's rough out there, man. And then even when people are walking by the table, I remember, and this is not thrown off on our people or whatever. Uh, sometimes you have black people walk through, you have white people, all different people walk through. But like with my people, I'm thinking, how they coming? Shoot, some of them be walking by looking like, don't wave at me, don't say nothing. And I'm like, I just want to say hi because I'm happy to see you. I'm not trying. Yeah, I want you to buy a book. I want you to look at something, but that's not the only reason. I just want to greet you. And they're looking at you like, if I don't look at him, he's not there. And they walk by you. That was weird. I had to adjust to that, man. It's a lot of stuff. And I probably missed the whole question of what you said, but I hope I answered it.
Well, no. I mean, I think I was just asking about the art side, the creative side versus the business
Yeah,
side. And I think, like you said,
yeah,
right, it's easy to get relatively easy to get that creative piece done because that's the fun part, the writing,
mhm.
getting the art in the inbox, all those type of things. But then when you say I want to build a business out of this, right? Now it's the math, it's the numbers, it's the understanding where the money needs to go, how we're going to
Oh
invest,
yeah.
reinvest, all those different things. And so I think that's just what I was asking. Like, what is that journey been
What
like with that?
what what was like? So I have a secretary. I mean a secretary. That's my wife, and
Okay.
she helps a lot.
Yeah, yeah, for
For
sure.
some reason, she likes to watch the money. I don't know. I don't know if that's her superpower. She just likes to watch the money for some reason. I don't know if you have that same situation. Most men have wives with that superpower watching that money. Now she helps, man. I mean, she'll jump in and help me, and she'll get on to me, man. Man, I might skip a day
Mm.
and not draw. Like I'm just calling myself gonna just take a break, and she'll be like, "You all right? You must be ahead." I'm like, "Oh." Let me get on. I feel sorry. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right,
Let me get
right.
out there and get it done. She gives me that little push. I mean, even my kids, man. I mean, my son gets married next month.
You said
He
next
get married.
next month?
Yeah, next month, man.
Wow.
In about 18
Congratulations.
days. 18 days, I think he gets married. He does. And so I had this thing. I joke, and I might do you this way. So the way I do people, if I'm working on stuff and I'm getting it done, I, I, I hate to say it, but I feel like I'm better than you.
Oh.
Because I didn't wait. Hear me out. Because I didn't got up and did the work. I'm up at 5 o'clock. You still sleep.
Right, right,
You
right.
might get a text from me saying, "Yeah, I'm better than you right now." You just get that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
tell me
yeah. We
if I
need
sent
that.
you that, and if you was sitting around doing whatever, and you got a text from me saying, "It will a picture of me," and I just got through drawing, I'm saying, "Yeah, bro, I'm better than you." What you
Yeah.
gonna do?
It'll never happen again. I tell you that.
You be like, and you gonna send me that message right back, and
I'll work
it
it.
just start feeding up there. Yeah, so me
Yeah.
and my son would, he's a software engineer, does AI and stuff like that, and he, I'll send it to him. I was like, I'm better than you. I send it to my wife. I'd be like, oh, I'm so much better than you, and she'd be like, no, you're not. I did. Matter of fact, I balanced your books. I'm like, I'm still better. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right.
Or
I
sometimes,
still got
some days I'm not. Some days I'm not.
right, right, right. No, that's great. That's great. So what kind of advice would you give creators who have similar aspirations to you?
Well, I will tell you this, man. First of all, get your stuff together. Um, I just talked about you, Jack.
Yeah, yeah. Come on, Jack. Shout out to my
He
guy
don't
Jack,
claim
yo.
me. Look, he don't claim me, but I'm claiming you. Jack Harris, Calvin Harris. Come on, we family.
No, we working, Jack. We working, Jack. We working. Come on, man. Come on.
No, man. The advice I would give them is to stick to it, stay after it, um, keep working, but get that business down, man. Get the business down. Get you a couple of books. Uh, get you some know your paperwork, know your as much of the law as possible. If you're going to get into doing collabs and stuff like that, understand that the business is done first. Which was a weird situation with me and Josh. As a matter of fact, I remember when I sent him the freelance contract for the downtrodden because he was co-writing. We decided to go in a different direction and expand on what he was doing. It was weird to send that to him, because now we're cool and I'm sending you some paperwork. But guess what?
Mhm.
It got better because now there's no questions about where we stand. There's no questions about what's expected. Have your business in order because it makes things easier later. Have your copyrights done. Have everything done that you need to have done if you can. The stuff that you don't like to do, run to that because
Yeah,
the other part is I hate to say it's really easy. It's just being consistent. But you got
yeah.
that business part of that's not natural.
Yeah, yeah. And I think just real quick, when you talk about paperwork, I think the thing about paperwork, and I always say this when I send paperwork to people, is one, it's not that I don't trust you, is that I just want to protect our relationship. I think when you have those things in writing and everybody can see, okay, these are the expectations. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
We both can see this. We both sign this. Now something happens, there's a disagreement, cool. Let's just look at the paperwork. And now it's
Cool.
not this emotional, well, you said this. No, I said that. Nah, it's like, look,
Yeah,
cool.
not
This is what we
soon.
agreed on.
Yeah.
Boom. And then hopefully our relationship can continue because now we both know what we agreed on and everything is there. So I'm a firm
That's
believer
how
in
I knew
trying to
that.
protect those relationships for sure.
That's how I knew me and Josh were gonna be cool because what happened was when it first happened, you think I'm joking, man. It's like we had a con like right afterwards. And we were at the
Mm,
con like weird, looking at each other and stuff. And then we talked about it. And now I said, yeah, it was weird. I had to send it to so and so and so and so. I said, yeah, it was weird.
yeah.
But to me, we got past that, and there was
Right.
no attitude, no chip on his shoulder, no chip on my shoulder, no
Right.
nothing. So guess what? That's somebody I can continue to work with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So talk to me a little bit about what's this right here? The downtrodden. Uh-huh.
Oh,
I
yeah,
got
that's a
I
zero issue.
got
That's a limited
got the
edition.
got the
Oh, man.
zero issue. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So talk a little bit about that series. What's it about?
So it's a Southern supernatural gothic tale. It's about family, about a woman trying to get her family back. But I would say this: it's family business from the I would say supernatural level. Even
Hmm.
supernatural families have secrets. I
Hmm.
would say, and they come out in that book. There are a bunch of. It's a lady. I'm just going to give her initial, like I told the other guy, and let you all guess. It's L,
Hmm.
and that's the one that you saw in the book where she's blowing the horn,
Okay.
and she wants her family back, and she's doing whatever to get it. But we have a black preacher, revival preacher named Lionel Black. They call him Black Gospel, and
Hmm.
he cuts his hand on the horn that's going to be blown, and it taints the horn. When they're blowing it, those spirits from her family get mixed into these youth. But if you see zero, those spirits are already in those kids
Mm.
from a zero issue. So if you got a zero issue, you can see it now. I'm going to get you some digital downloads too. And so later on, what ends up happening when she blows that horn, it awakens in those kids. And you're talking about just regular kids. You're talking about high school kids in the South. Uh, no special, different sizes. We got a little person in there. We got skinny people, fat people, black, white, Chinese, Spanish, everything's in there, man. We got it's diverse.
Yeah.
And that was what they all get powers in it, and we go from there. But I'm actually, and I might be jumping ahead. I just finished the last book, which is I finished number three. So
Okay.
it's five total. So zero, one, two, and three. I just finished three, and
Okay.
I sent it off to the colorist, a guy named Daniel Carmaccio. Jack referred him to me, as a matter of fact. He's coloring it now, and I'm already into the last issue for this part of the series, the first story arc. I'm about 7 pages in. And what I do, I don't know if you know, I uh, pencil 4 pages, I ink 4 pages. I pencil 4 pages, I ink 4 pages. So I
Okay.
stay current and balanced. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So right now, what's available is the zero issue. Is it available? I know you said it's a limited edition.
It's the best. Yeah, and they're starting to disappear. So it's 300 of those, and
So
then you
zero
you only be able to get those digital. Yeah.
Yeah, so 0 is available, 1 is available, 2 is available, and 3 is on the way.
Three is already drawn. It's drawn and everything inked. It's being colored right now. Hopefully I can do a Kickstarter around Heroes Con. That's where I'm probably gonna try to launch it if
I
I
was just
can.
about to ask you, you going back to Kickstarter?
I gotta go back, man. You know what? I'm a glutton for punishment.
I gotta go back.
Man, I'm gonna get some ashwagandha so I can just be calm or something because that thing is rough. But I have a different. I think I'm starting to get the hang of how it works.
Okay.
I'll probably do a pre-launch soon and ride that out. And but my goal is, I know you think I'm joking. I want to have the next book done already too, so I can say, hey, guess what? I not only have this book, I have the last issue, and this next book that he's colored, this book that he's coloring right now, man. If you like action. It is action.
So
It is fighting. Yeah.
where can they get these issues? It's on your website?
Uh, my website, you can go to my TikTok shop. You can, yeah,
Okay.
it's there.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
cool. And that's papabearcomics.com. Yeah,
comics.com. Yeah, I
for
kept
sure.
it simple. There it is. Yeah,
For sure. For sure.
and
Okay.
it's really nice. I mean, I feel like I'm getting better as a artist.
Hmm.
The story is solid. I in the beginning, matter of fact, the last two issues, Josh, I co-wrote the first. I was leading and doing a lot of writing. Those last two, he wrote them. I put my 2 cents in there, but he got into it, man, and he knocked those out, and it freed me up, man, because it's just too much to try to carry everything yourself.
Yeah.
And now I'm telling you, I'm pleased with it. I'll say that.
So let me ask you this. What was the inspiration for the Downtrodden series? Where did this idea come from?
So I'm from Columbus, Georgia, and
Hmm.
that's what I claim. My dad was military, but Columbus is my home. I raised my kids there. When I was a kid, there used to be a place called Indian Lake, and I used to always think it was because we would go back there and swim. Yeah, we were country swimming in the lake, catching in a dozen eggs, but we were swimming. And I used to think because people, I found an arrowhead. It probably was a rock, but it looked like an arrowhead to me. And I was like, man, it's probably mysterious things back here. You start making up stuff in your head, and over time, uh, the story started developing,
Yeah.
and I think I probably drew the story about 3 or 4 different times, and then finally,
Wow.
uh, you see where it's at now. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was something that sort of developed as you were a child. Like that was sort of this idea sort of been sitting with you for a minute.
Well, I wouldn't say. I would say this: the events and the people probably did. I just didn't realize it until later.
Right, right, right,
Yeah,
right.
I would say probably 2000. I've been talking about. I had the characters. I used to play a video game called City of Heroes. I don't know. I was probably because you're okay, yeah.
Yeah, for
Man,
sure.
that thing. I stay away from video games because it was sucking everything out of me. I was creating my heroes and stuff, and I was just build them on City of Heroes, and I would just play the game. And now I'm not drawing or creating. But
Right,
once
right,
it
right.
went down, it just let me get on this. But
Yeah.
I was making up stories as I was going. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
the story came along. People, it's funny because I would think that my friend Sam, he's like, "Man, you've been drawing Shade forever," and I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, you've been drawing her. You remember you drew her back then?" I was like, "Damn, I did draw her back then."
Yeah.
So I've been drawing her for a long time. But as far as the story as a whole, I just took where different places I've lived. I lived in Atlanta. I've lived different places, and I kind of put them together. We went with we didn't want to put it on the nose because people would want it to look exactly like the place. So we didn't call it Columbus. We called it Goldenheim.
Hmm.
A little Chris Columbus spin on that. Um, but I already had some of my classmates. Man, that high school, that's got to be Kendrick High School. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I took a spin on Kendrick High School and put it in there. So it
Yeah.
it built off of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's great. Y'all definitely make sure y'all check out the Downtrodden at papabearcomics.com. Um, one thing I wanted to ask you about going back to um the colorist situation that you had. I know what it's like to have to you're working on a project, something happens and you got to pivot, right? Um, one of the things I wanted to ask you about was, what are your thoughts on, having to pivot and having to pick up the pieces of something when it's not really going the way that you thought it was going to go? And this could be for comics, but more so life in general, right? Like when you have to do something different and the plan is not going the way you thought it was going to go. How do you navigate that? What are your thoughts around that?
Man, what I've learned. is this: everything that I thought was bad,
Mm,
God turned around and made it better.
mm,
So I always assume that if something goes bad, there must be something better
mm-hmm.
for me, and that's how it always turns out. Think about it, man. I mean, you might lose this and lose that, and next, 5 years later, you have more than what you had then.
Right.
You lose a house, so whatever, it didn't matter. It hurt when it happened. You trying to figure it out, but even with your kids, they're not going to talk about, oh, you remember the house? They're going to remember, hey, Dad, you remember that time we were playing slip and slide outside? You remember the time you were getting us wet? You remember the time you had us getting us wet outside? They didn't know the air conditioner was out, the power was out. You know what I'm saying? They don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
I just
Right.
feel like when things are bad, there's something better around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And the color situation was one I ignored. When I say it's your fault, I saw signs of it
Mm,
falling apart a little, but I had that hope of hoping that it was going to work out, and it didn't. I'm not gonna lie, because I knew him, and he was like, just sent me an email saying I'm out, and I just moved on. I could have went back and said, hey man, why? What's this, that? It was my business, and I had to separate it, and I had to say, hey, you know what? It is what it is. I wish you luck. I hope everything is good with you, but I
yeah.
can't let you stop me.
Yeah.
I got to get it.
Yeah. 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 Um, Another question that I wanted to ask you about, and this pertains to that mentality of, I'm not going to be stopped, right? Um, has there been a moment in your life where, or as a part of this dream, where you felt like stopping? And if so, how did you overcome that?
I don't know if it was stopped, but I got paused. I didn't know that I got hit hard. So last February, not this past February, February last, my dad passed.
Oh wow.
And
Condolences.
yeah, it was crazy. You talk about I love you. I still have a voicemail say I miss you, I love you. It was on my
Mm,
voicemail. I still have that voicemail to this day. And I probably did the man thing that you're talking about. I went straight back to work, knocked out the good, shaking it off, good. Then this February, my oldest brother passed.
oh wow.
That was rough. Yeah, so I was like, goodness gracious. Um, so you would think that that would knock you down and quit. I admit it slowed my production down a little, but then I flipped it around. I was like, man, you know what? That's the reason I should be doing it. My pop used to
Mm,
believe in me for everything, man. He used to be like, boy, how's the book coming along? He didn't care about the comic book. He just wanted to see that I was doing something. I was moving, you know what I'm saying?
right.
How's that going? It was yeah, it was funny, but it made me want to push harder.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
far as letting it go and just quitting, I've never wanted to just quit. I would say that. Have I
Mm,
been disappointed and want to be further? Do I feel like I should? How about this? Do I feel like I should be further along? Yeah, but that's my fault because of the business part of it, of running
mm,
from not being online and pushing it. Man,
mm.
like I look at Danny, he's on what's his name, Ace Blade.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, he is selling his stuff every day. Newton is on there selling his stuff every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
So I got a question. If I'm not making it, they're out there selling every day, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
That's on me.
Yeah.
So I think the problem is that with everything as far as when to quit or how we feel, and it might be hard, man, we got to look in that mirror and be like, Cal, what are you doing? You got to get this. You got to
Yeah.
get. Do you want it that bad? How bad do you want it? Cal, you have to get this done. You have to, you know. That's the way I look at it. And it's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's hard to do, but you do what you got to do, man.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um, One more question before we go to my last segment. Um,
Okay.
what's next for you? What do you see for yourself? What do you see for Papa Bear Comics? Where do you see, your company in 5 years?
So what's next is that we're working on a book, a couple books, some titles because we're expanding the universe. The way I did the universe, the way we did the universe was so it could expand because this opens up magic. It opens up all possibilities. We have a book called Apex that's going to come out. We're working on it. I'm looking for artists now. So if you know an artist, an affordable, good artist, I want to bring another artist in to do that. That's my way of being a business and not a self-employed. Yeah, you save money doing it yourself, but I want to get an artist out there that can draw that. I'm working on a book myself called Bad Guy. Uh, I'm gonna bring her. I'm gonna do that whole thing myself, probably. Probably get some input from Josh and some other people to get their opinion. But for the thing, it's just my baby. I will tell you, and I'll tell you more about that later. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
5 years from now, I want to start working with some other writers too. And when I say that, I want to bring in some female writers because some of the characters are female, and I think they can get more out of the characters that I have. We have a character named Sunset. Josh is working on some stuff with her too. But I got to get a female's perspective because he's not a girl. Well, maybe, but I'm saying he's not a girl, but he says he's not. So I
Right.
wouldn't watch. So the thing is, I want to get that perspective. I want to get some different nationalities, and I want to work with some people with Spanish because a Spanish household is different from a black household. A white
Yeah.
household is different from Spanish household, and whatever. I want to bring those in because it's that much diversity. Now, as far as where I see myself, I probably see us probably going towards more live. I know a lot of people want to do animation, but I would love to do a live show. I think this book will be great as a live show.
When you say a live show, you mean like a play?
Now, I never thought from a play standpoint, but shooting a show like
Oh,
on
oh,
TV,
oh,
just
oh,
like we
like a
have.
live action
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
A live action. Okay,
Live action.
gotcha, gotcha. Like with
Yeah,
actors and
exactly. Yeah.
gotcha,
I think
gotcha.
I think it would do well as live action. Don't get me wrong, the animation just looks so cool, and
Yeah,
man, but I truly think that a live show this would sell.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's an interesting. I can definitely see that for this. Like when you think about like Vampire Diaries, or you think
Mhm.
about shows like that in the small town,
Mhm.
Supernatural,
Yeah.
True Blood. I can see
Yeah.
some comps. I see some comps for that.
You
But
know
no,
what we
that
can do now? If you want to now, me and you can go buy a compound, and then we can set up a shop on it. We can just shoot on that thing. You know what I'm saying?
hey,
We
listen,
will bring everybody in.
I write screenplays, right? You know that, right?
Well, it was maybe a little bird might have told me that.
Hey, I'm saying, look, let me know. Let me know. You feel me? um, so now let me go to my last segment before I get you out of here. It's called The One. And it's 5 questions. If there's one book or comic book that you think everybody should read, what would that be?
Ooh, that's a good one. Man, God, you saying one? I wish you would have gave me two. Um,
You can give me two. Give me two.
I like Philadelphia, and I like I think it's called Far West. So Philadelphia, Friday Barnes and Jason Alexander, and then you got Scotty Young and Jorge Corona did this one. I think it's called Far West. Is it what it's called? I have the book. It's good. And you want to know what's funny about it? It's all about father and son relationships.
Yeah, I got that joint too. I was trying to.
Yeah.
I think I got it upstairs. I know I got Philadelphia over there. I got that upstairs. I can't remember the name of it, but I
Man.
know what you're talking about. It's a
Far
great
West,
joint.
yeah.
That's a
It
great.
is so good. I met him, man. I told him, I said, man, this book is crazy.
Yeah,
It
that
was
joint is great.
whew.
That joint is great.
Dad had an anger problem. And it's like, and what happened was his curse goes over to the son, his generational curse. Man, I was like, yeah,
It's a
man,
good one. It's a good one. It's a
yeah.
good one. What's one piece of advice you would give your younger self?
Exercise, nothing.
That's valid. That's valid.
Uh, invest now. I would say, what advice would I give my younger self? I think I would say, learn more than, like I said, I hate to say it, learn more business side of things. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That most people, a lot of people come on here and say, start now. Like I like that would be the advice that they would give their younger self, like start now. I think it's that, and I think it's learn business, learn how the business works.
Learn business. Yeah.
Um, what's one word that you would want to describe your legacy?
Hmm. Um, let's see. Man, you hit me hard, man. uh, one word
I,
to describe my
I do.
legacy
You
would
should have
be
looked at the questions. I do. You should have looked at the questions.
a father. A
What'd you
father,
say?
man, means a lot to me, man. Father. I know it sounds crazy because I think it is.
Nah,
I think that's just the way it is. Yeah.
nah,
It's
that's
probably
it.
my the most thing I'm proud of, man.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. Um, oh, hold on. Let me pull my questions back up. Okay. What's one thing that you would change about your creative journey?
Um, I know what say. I wish great journey. Probably more research.
Hmm.
Um, Probably just researching things. Sometimes you draw without understanding, but I just think I should. Uh, it's just the research side of. So I'm not trying to say when you're an athlete you get away with things, but you focus on athletics, you focus on making money and stuff like that. But if you're gonna be in comics, you need to have research and understand everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I find myself going back learning. Like I love the History Channel and all that stuff, but just go back and read and
Mm.
research.
Yeah.
I feel like that gets passionate. We'll take the easy way, but
Yeah.
we need to read and understand research.
Yeah. Yeah. What's one thing that you want everyone to take away? Everyone who hears this or sees this to take away from this conversation.
That it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you're in a wheelchair. It don't matter whatever it is. It's up to you to get after it. And I
Mm.
think you should take away that everybody needs to go out there and buy the downtrodden. They need to go out there and get the downtrodden. Uh, I think that anything is possible. I just feel like you just can't let it's up to you to, don't let nothing stop you.
Yeah.
Get after it. Let's get
Yeah.
it. Let's toe the line and get after it. Let's go.
Yeah. 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 And lastly, the last thing is there anything that you want to plug, you want to tell people about, you want to send people to? The floor is yours.
Check me out, Kalvin Harris, KLVINHARRIS. That's on my IG. You can see me drawing. You can see me doing a lot of different things on there, talking, being silly, being myself. Uh, I want people to go to my website and take a look at it. It's gotten better. People were joking me about it because the last one was bootleg, but it's a little better now. So go check it out and come meet us, man. We're going to be at Free Comic Book Day. It's going to be this Saturday.
You gonna be out there too?
Yeah.
Okay, bet. Yeah,
Yes,
I'm gonna see
sir.
you for sure.
Yes,
For
sir.
sure.
Yeah, nobody knows because I'm gonna give Tony Cade them a hard time. They only put you guys up there because you all are famous. I'm trying to get up there. I didn't even get a picture, man. I'm like, can I get a
Yo.
picture? You know what I'm saying? They're like, no, you ain't nobody. He's like, we got 3 books. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I will be there. I'll be there Saturday.
They hit me. They hit me and they was like, "You want to do free comic book day?" I said, "Yeah, for sure." And I didn't hear
Yeah,
nothing else. It's been like 3 weeks. I didn't hear nothing else. And then all of a sudden, I start seeing the flyers pop up, and I'm like, "Oh,
yeah. Greg and
we
all them, they've been
we
up
locked
there. I'm
in.
like,
We locked in.
we locked in.
We
Yeah,
locked
yeah.
in."
We got Greg Burns. And
Right.
Greg, I'm talking about you. You know it. Greg, we know who you are. I want no Papa Bear, no roll. Come on, man.
Right. Right. Come on, man. That's wild.
Shit.
Um. So yeah. So I'll see you Saturday.
Yeah,
And yeah. First of all, Kalvin, thank you so much for coming through tonight. I just want to say, man, I appreciate you. I admire you. And I was really curious. I'm glad you were on tonight to talk about manhood and fatherhood. And even when you talked about
yeah,
Papa Bear, and I felt all of those things that you said Papa Bear means to you. I felt those things when I was around you. You felt, like a big brother. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
a man that I could look up to. So I just appreciate you coming through tonight, sharing some of your wisdom. And man, thanks so much, brother.
yeah.
And
No
to
problem, man.
Yeah, for sure. To all the viewers, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. If you want to support the show, you can buy me a coffee at the link that's scrolling down at the bottom. Again, thank y'all so much. Like this, subscribe to the channel, share it with somebody, and I will see y'all next week with another conversation about creativity, life, and how it's all connected. As always, I love you. Peace.